All right. With great pleasure, super great pleasure, we welcome back to the show Texas Senator, Mr. Ted Cruz. Senator Cruz, as always, sir, great to see you. Look, Senator Thune said he was open to a wide-bodied plan. And I want to say, we got to sell last year's tax cuts a little better. That's one point. But let's put more in there. Let's show people. And, there's other stuff, too. All the fraud going on around the country, of which you are well aware, in Los Angeles and California and Minnesota, New York, and so forth. That's got to be in there. The Pentagon needs a supplemental. That's got to be in there. The voting rights ID, I think, needs money to be implemented. That should be in there. So, okay, you want to do a skinny bill for DHS, fine, but come back with a wide-bodied bill, sir.
Larry, you and I agree on almost everything, almost all the time. On this, you and I agree 1,000%. You are exactly right.
Yeah.
I am making this case vigorously to my colleagues at lunch today, at lunch yesterday. I think I may have given your riff word for word verbatim yesterday at lunch.
Yes, sir.
And listen, right now, leadership's plan is to have the skinny anorexic bill that just has funding for ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. I think that is short-minded, short-sighted, and right now they're talking about funding ICE and Border Patrol for 3.5 years at current levels. What I've argued to my colleagues is there are three mistakes that they're contemplating. Number one, we should fund ICE and Border Patrol for 10 years, not 3.5. The Democrats have gotten so radical they will not fund border security. We can do 10 years of funding. Number two, we should increase the funding. The reason we're having to do this is the Democrats are wildly unreasonable. They've defunded the Department of Homeland Security. What I'm arguing is we should increase the funding of ICE by 10%. So the result of Elizabeth Warren's temper tantrum is ICE funding went up 10%. But number three, what you just said, this reconciliation bill, we can pass with just 50 Republicans in the Senate. We don't need Democrats, which means we need a tax cut. And in fact, I argued for what you just said, indexing capital gains to inflation, enormously pro-growth, would help with affordability. There's a lot of housing, for example, that is stranded because people have gains that the tax bill would be too high. And you have, say, an older couple whose kids are all grown. They don't need a house with 4 or 5 bedrooms in it, but they can't sell the house because they'd have a huge tax bill. That means the house is not on the market for a new married couple just starting a family. This is something we can do, we should do, and we shouldn't miss this opportunity to go big. Now, I'll tell you right now, that exchange you had with John Thune, John is a good friend of mine, but he was not agreeing with you on this reconciliation, and I got to tell you, there ain't going to be another reconciliation. That's telling you, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. This is the only train that is leaving the station. If we want to do something big and bold before the midterm elections, we either do it now or we're going to end up missing altogether.
Well, I think, I think he was open to it. But the point you're making, just so I understand it, you're saying forget about a skinny bill, fold the DHS into the larger, what I'll call wide-bodied bill with its tax reform and fraudulent spending and waste and so forth. We don't need two, we can just do it with one. I think that's your point.
It is, but let me explain, because he said he's open to doing a third reconciliation, and he said that many times. Here's the problem. You're not going to get 218 votes in the House for it. You're not going to get 50 votes in the Senate for it. What we need, and I've spent the last several months arguing we should do another reconciliation, but we need a tent pole. We need a policy that is big and important enough that it brings together a majority. You know what? Funding ICE and Border Patrol, that's the tent pole. There is no Republican in the House or the Senate who wants to vote against border security. That's how we get the votes. If you have instead a reconciliation bill that is a bunch of cats and dogs without Border Patrol there, you will not get 218. It never passes. And by the way, they know that what they're really saying is we ain't going to do it. We're just doing ICE and Border Patrol. And I think if we do that, it will be a massive, massive, massive missed opportunity.
Sir, so I understand your point now, and I think it's a good point. Politically, it's a very good point. I think I'd like to see the voter ID in there, real voter ID. I don't know that I need all the bells and whistles, but the basic point is I want a photo ID and a proof of citizenship, because that needs to be financed. And so, therefore, it could conceivably pass the parliamentarian rules or the Byrd rule or whatever it is nowadays. So, you're saying now one big, beautiful bill. Let's do wide-bodied, that's it, get behind it and run with it. See if we can convince Speaker Johnson, who I think may be sympathetic to it. But, you know, my point, Senator, is, before we lose you, the GOP in general has just got to fight harder on the tax cut issue.
Amen.
I mean, it's a funny thing because there's so many good things from that bill last year, okay, really helpful things, middle class, small business, you name it. But we don't sell it. I mean, the polls are, the tip poll is a very good poll. It's not a left-wing poll. It's an accurate poll. And I've seen other polls corroborate it. It's an odd thing. Mr. Trump told me when I sat down with him a while back that he had to do a better selling job. I know he's a busy fellow. He's going to win the war. But the fact is, we got to get out there and sell even this bill. I mean, that's the one we have. A lot of people don't even know it.
You know, I will say it's April 15th. It's tax day. And the stats today, the refunds, the average refund that Americans have gotten have gone up 11%. The average refund is $3,400. And if you look at some of the breakdown, over 6 million filers have filed for no tax on tips. The average deduction is over $7,100. Over 25 million filers have filed for no tax on overtime. The average deduction is more than $3,100. Over 1 million filers have filed no tax on car loans. The average deduction is $1,800. And over 30 million senior citizens have filed for no tax on Social Security. The average deduction there is more than $7,500. You want to talk about real money that makes a difference for people who needs it. This is the biggest tax cut in American history. And the problem is the Democrats are lying about it and the corporate media is lying about it, which means it's our obligation, our responsibility to communicate the truth.
Those are great numbers. And Senator, with your permission, I'm going to put them in the riff. I'm going to add, I'm going to amend the riff.
Spectacular.
Only if you give me permission, Senator Cruz.
2 thumbs up.
You're terrific, sir. Thank you ever so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Senator Ted Cruz. All right.